Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Before we dive into the clips that I filmed a couple of months ago, I just wanted to add a little bit at the beginning and fill in some blanks and give a little bit of context, just because I was kind of picking up the camera and vlogging specific moments, which you'll see, but I didn't ever intro the video properly, and as I was watching it back myself, I was remembering, I didn't say that this happened or this led me to this. So I thought it would make sense to add a little bit at the beginning. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet because I know the interesting bits are always the more vloggy content. I don't really know what the title of this video is even going to be. I'm a bit apprehensive to use TTC, which is trying to conceive, just because I know that the TTC community is sadly large, and it's something that I didn't know if I'd end up being involved in, and I don't even want to use that term because I feel so fortunate that this happened really quickly for us, and we only had one round of Letrozole, which will make more sense as you watch further on into the video. But whilst I was starting my medication, leading up to that, throughout my appointments, I spent a lot of time on the internet, which they warn you not to, and I watched a lot of videos, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of women and families out there trying so desperately to conceive, and my heart is with everyone. I feel like I had a glimmer of that worry and being told this could be really difficult for you, and it's really scary, especially, well, I don't think it matters what age you are, to be honest, but yeah, personally for me, being 25, well I was 24 at the time, and being told this might not be straightforward like they make out in school, it's scary. So nevertheless, this is our pretty short journey of going down the, again, sorry, I'm a little bit hesitant with what to say because I just really do not want to offend anyone. Like I said, honestly, my heart is with everyone trying, and I pray that you all have a success story, and I really do believe that it's such an amazing thing that we have such great doctors, NHS if we're in the UK, and there are so many options when it comes to fertility. So first of all, I just want to say, if you are trying, if you're struggling, I hope that this isn't too hard to watch, but if it is triggering, I would like to say, if this might upset you, by all means, I will not be offended if you don't want to watch and you're normally one of my normal watchers. Sending you lots of love. But yeah, let me start from the beginning. So last summer I came off the pill, and no big reason. I think in the back of my head it was kind of bothering me a little bit that I'd been on the pill since I was 16, so I would have been around 23, so I'd been on it a pretty long time, and obviously you hear old wives' tales, you shouldn't be on it for this long, it will affect your fertility, etc. So I came off it. I think my periods, I say periods because technically speaking, when you're on the pill, it's a withdrawal bleed. They weren't really playing ball towards the middle of last year. Yeah, towards the end, I'd have my 7-day break when I was supposed to bleed, and that wasn't even happening. I was really confused. I was thinking, is my body even rejecting these? I don't really know. So I made the adult decision to stop taking the pill, and I thought, you know what, I will just be sensible for a couple months, figure out what's going on, get my body back into a cycle. It's been so many years, it could take a really long time. Cut a long story short, around 6 months later, no bleeding, nothing. Called my GP, expressed my worries, and I'm very aware there's a lot more important things going on in the world, and there's probably a long list of people that needed to see a doctor a lot quicker than myself. So I didn't really get much of a response. They kind of said, give it a couple more months and then call back if you're still worried. So from the middle of last year, let's say the summer, to Christmas, and then it got to around February this year, and I thought, oh my god, I've still not had periods. Is it safe for me to just be winging it, not on anything? Can I even fall pregnant? What is the situation? So I called back my GP and I asked to speak with another doctor, and the person I ended up speaking to, he was actually really helpful. And I want to say it's obviously different for everyone, but I was a little bit apprehensive about dealing with a male doctor. I don't know if that's normal, but personally, just being completely honest, talking about periods and stuff, I was like, is he even gonna get it? Is he even gonna understand the stress? But he was great. I don't know if it's because it was kind of the reverse. He was like, oh, I need to be very thorough because she knows I'm a man and I need to prove that I care. So I did blood tests, blah, blah, blah. Found out I was very low in progesterone. At that time, meant nothing to me. I was like, okay, this is bad. And he said he'd like to refer me to a gynaecologist. And I think when you hear you're going to be referred to something, I just kind of panicked a little bit. Nothing major. I got a letter through the post in around February, March, saying that I would have a gynaecologist appointment in around August, September time, which is now. And again, I'm aware that the strain on the NHS is crazy. And there's not much you can do if that's when you've been referred an appointment. So I spoke with my family, spoke with my boyfriend, weighed up the options and thought, is this going to affect me mentally? I'm in a position where I can go privately, so I decided to go to a private hospital and see a private gynaecologist. And that's where we found out after my first appointment, straight away, she sent me for a ultrasound. I know a lot of people DM me and they want pricing. I will be completely transparent. Obviously everywhere's so different. I think my consultation was £250, which, to be honest, I got most of my answers in that consultation. It's half an hour. And just by verbally talking, she figured out pretty much what I had, which is polycystic ovaries, not the syndrome. So I'm not going to go into it completely, but if you want to look up the difference, if you have one or the other, you'll probably know the difference. But I have PCO, not PCOS. But that can affect your periods, fertility, but then it also maybe cannot. Because for years I've always had people tell me, because I think I always thought in the back of my head, I feel like you just know as a woman. I just had a gut feeling that there was something wrong. I've always said to my nan, she said, I've said it since I was so young, like so young, around 10. I think I'm going to struggle to have babies. I think like it's the weirdest thing. And I remember thinking it when I was so young. And I have no idea why, but I've always said it. I've said it all the time. I think I'm one of them people I like to set my expectations so then I'm not disappointed. So I kind of always said that. Even though I believe in manifesting, I hoped I wasn't manifesting anything. And yeah, found out I had PCO, went for an ultrasound just to triple check, which was an option. So that was another 270. I didn't need to have the ultrasound necessarily, but obviously I was being diagnosed just by us having a chat. So personally for me, I wanted to have the ultrasound. I could have gone on the NHS waiting list for an ultrasound, which would have been about 2 to 3 months. But I just thought I could have an ultrasound that day. So personally for me, that's what I decided to do. I did end up having a phone call appointment with the gynaecologist again, which my phone call appointments I think were half the price of her face-to-face, which I think was around 120. And I can't even remember, I think we kind of just spoke through everything. It was, I don't know. I advise if you go to these appointments, take someone with you because there's so much to take in. And I did have my nan with me, but I think, to be honest, we should have had a third person because I forgot so much, so it was my own fault. Write notes while you're in there, they'll completely understand. And I did end up having, yeah, one more phone call with her after that. And I just said, I'm worried. Like, you've told me I've got polycystic ovaries. Great. She said, that there are a small amount of women that have polycystic ovaries and don't have a period, and that's fine. You are supposed to have I think it's 2 to 3 bleeds a year to be deemed healthy. So she said she'd put me on tablets a couple times a year just to have the bleed. I can't remember the ins and outs of the reason you need to, but I think it's just good for your, just a female. This is when, if you're like me, you'll have to do a little bit of your own research because everyone's so different. And I did take the tablets, I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember what they're called, to have a bleed the following month. And I don't know why, I think in my head I thought, oh my god, this is like conking my body back into a normal routine. But it wasn't till I spoke to, I think it was Kelsey, actually Cass's sister, because she does nursing, and I said, so basically like we might as well start trying if we wanted to. Like, I'm pushing my periods back into place. The doctor said it can affect your fertility having polycystic ovaries, blah 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 blah. And she was the one that made me stop and think, and she said, wait, just because they're giving you tablets for a bleed doesn't mean you're ovulating, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so how do we get the ovulation happening? So then that's when I had my final call with the doctor, and I just said, I'm confused, can you literally dumb this down so much and spell it out to me so I can take the tablets to have a bleed, but then how do I ovulate? What happens if I want to try for a baby? So then we had the talk, do you want to try? Is this the step we're going in? Because if you do, this is like the fertility talk. And to be honest, I don't know if it was a coincidence or if this is like quite a lot of gynecologists, but my particular gynecologist was specialised in fertility, which I feel like I was really lucky with. So she had a lot of knowledge. So after some thought and then speaking with her again, we said we want to get the ball rolling. We want to explore what our steps are. So she kind of explained everything on a phone call, which is annoyingly the only clip that I documented that I managed to lose, but it probably would have been a lot of information that maybe wouldn't have made sense. So I'll just kind of refine what I gathered from that. But she kind of said, we're going to start on this tablet and you will take the tablets that make you have a period first, and then you take this new drug, which in my instance is Letrozole. I know a lot of people go on another one, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but if I remember it, I'll put it on the screen. But a few people have DM'd me that they would put on that. They're quite similar, I think. That one is predominantly used in America, I think. And you take that 5 days after, and then hopefully within the next 2 weeks you ovulate, and then within the next 2 weeks from that, if you've ovulated, then it is your chance to have conception, to conceive. So that's what we did, and she said it might not happen first time, might not happen second time, you've got 6 attempts. We can only take the tablet, well, I could only take the tablets 6 times before my body couldn't have any more because it's quite a strong drug, and she would weigh up whether I needed a higher dose. So I started on a low dose, which again I talk about in the clips further on, and she did tell me some of the statistics, just being my doctor and setting me up. I think chances of ovulation was around 60%, and then chances of conceiving were around 10 to 20%. So I know the chances were pretty low. Wasn't getting too excited, but in my head I was like, this is gonna work. I feel like it might take 2 or 3 rounds. That's how I honestly was thinking. And then I knew in my head that I had till around Christmas time, and then it would be IUIs, IVFs, stuff like that. So I was trying to stay calm, because that's what they tell you to do. They say it's best to stay calm. I'm sure you've heard that if you're trying to conceive. Stay calm, stressing does nothing. But it's difficult when you feel like your future's being mapped out so differently to how you thought. And I'm going to leave the rest here because you can kind of see this throughout the vlogs. And I've decided to start with this one because it makes sense to in my head. I thought I'd put this last after the announcement that I'm pregnant, and then telling Cass and then telling our family, but you'll see when you watch the next video, which will be me finding out and telling Cass, that it follows on from the last clip of this video, because I got a phone call about my blood test and then I'd done a test later that day, which I said I wouldn't. So yeah, I hope that answers pretty much everything. If you have any other questions, please leave them down below. But without further ado, let's roll with the video. So it's Saturday the 25th of June and I'm on day 2 of my cycle, and it's time to take my Letrozole for the first time, and this is going to hopefully make me ovulate. Positive vibes. I've got to take 2 of these, and I've watched quite a lot of YouTube videos, which they say don't do with most circumstances, but can't help yourself. And I think on this milligram the side effects aren't awful, but I'm a baby. I'm on 2.5 milligrams, and people said take your tablets at night, so if you do have side effects you kind of sleep them off. So we will see. Here goes. Day 1, and I will document if I have any side effects or how I'm feeling. But right now I'm feeling alright. I'm a little bit anxious, but the whole situation, the whole talk about this fertility thing stresses me out, and subconsciously it's always on my mind, I think. So yeah, but day 1, let's see if these are gonna work. Where's the light at? What is the date? Right, it's the 4th of July, and I've been doing these little tests every day, haven't I? And I've got my book. Where's my book? So, been doing these little tiny tests every day.
She pees on them.
That's what you have to do, silly. But these are the cheap ones, which I'm sure you people will know. And then you've got the clear blue digital, which I've been doing daily as well, even though probably would have made sense to start the last couple of days, because yeah, you know. Anyway, you get a plain circle which doesn't move. Look at you taking it in, because you've not listened to me until now, have you? It's fascinating because you've not been taking it in. So you get the plain circle if you aren't ovulating, and it says like your chances of getting pregnant are low, and then flashing smiley if, oh, maybe I should get the little pack with the instructions, but flashing smiley's good, and then a still smiley, which should be maybe in the next couple days, means wham bam, thank you ma'am, like hardcore. But this is the first time you've seen a smiley, so I'm really excited. I knew it. I've been cramping a little bit. So today is day 11 of cycle, and it's the 4th of July 2022. I can't believe it. I saw this smiley and I screamed. But I just wanted to update. Month 1 first smiley. So here's the box. This is what I just tried to explain, but I did an awful job at. So when it's just a circle, which is what I've been getting for the past 5 days, it's the blank circle, and then this is what we've got right now, which is the flashing smiley face, which is high chance, and then you're at your peak, which I think you can only get for a day or maybe 2, but that is literally just before the egg drops and you've ovulated. So once that smiley goes, then that month is done for. But these are the expensive ones.
How much are they?
I've got 20 tests for like £35, but the other one you get like 100.
How many tests you do a month?
You can do 1 a day.
So pretty much 1 a month. It's not too bad.
Oh, it depends how quickly you fall pregnant.
No, I know, but £30 a month,
I mean, the other pack with the little tiny strips, these you can get like 100 for £6. Oh. But obviously you don't get flash and smiley faces. You get lights. It's static. The smiley face is static. I actually can't believe it. I didn't think this was going to happen. So I last checked in, I think when the first smiley face flashed, I think, which would have been Monday. It's now Saturday. So obviously this is my first time doing all this, and all I've done is pretty much read the information box, look online, blah blah blah, and most sources say it should be around 2 days after your flashing that you get the static smiley. So obviously we're talking like 5-6 days after I've got this. So I lost all hope. I was feeling super deflated, and I was doing the little strips, that these like little ones here, and as you can see, just like non-existent. So I lost all hope really. And then this morning, this and this. So we're on the 9th of July and it's cycle day. I even stopped writing. Look how neat it started. And then this is how I was losing hope. So we're on the 9th, which is 13. So we're on day 16, and that's what it's took, people. And I'm just like, I wish I'd filmed my reaction getting this. I just was doing it for the sake of doing it in the end, and my jaw hit the floor. So we will see. I've got my progesterone blood test on Thursday, and that's to kind of confirm. But I mean, this is apparently 99.8 or something % accurate, so it's quite reliable, I think. And apparently you've got 48 hours from here, like that's your window of ovulation, so better get cracking. I don't even know what the date is today. It is the 14th of July. And it's 9:39. It's nice and bright and early. I just had a blood test, which hurt so bad. I've had many a blood test. I used to have to get blood tests monthly when I was on Roaccutane, and never have I had a blood test that hurt that much. Like proper stung. Felt like a bee sting. But I just had this for my progesterone check, and I'm not actually sure when I'm gonna find out. It's Thursday, which is a bit annoying, because she was like, I'd say tomorrow or Monday, because obviously it'll be the weekend. But I just had that done. This is maybe handy to know actually. So my doctor at the moment, my gynaecologist, who is my overall doctor, I'd say, for this journey, is a private doctor. But anything that's like add-ons, whether it be the blood tests, if I needed an ultrasound, anything like that, obviously dependent on availability, I can get it done at my NHS GP. Obviously I have no idea what the audience is for this video when you're watching this, so obviously I'm talking about UK based people. with like the NHS system. So I actually just had this blood test done with the NHS, which is good because obviously it's saving me additional costs, because if I couldn't have got this booked in today, because I needed it on day 21 of my cycle, forgot to say that actually, I probably would have had to go back to the private hospital and pay for a blood test, which can be around £80 to £100. So, and I actually don't know how many blood tests I'm going to end up needing, but this test in particular is to check my progesterone levels, which is basically going to confirm whether I ovulated or not. I think it's too early to see if there's like the pregnancy hormone, because I'm day 5 DPO. I'm still learning all the little thingies, but according to the Clear Blue ovulation tests, I ovulated on Saturday. So we're now on Thursday, so this is day 5, and they say you can kind of detect early stages of pregnancy with a blood test around day 7, day 8. So obviously I'm like a couple days early. But you know what, just to confirm that the Letrozole has made me ovulate is obviously a good sign, because my private doctor will look at my results and determine whether that dosage I was on this month was enough if there's no pregnancy. Does that make sense? So I will check in and let you know when I get the results. And I was actually thinking on the way here, I think that the time frame, like the 2-week, they say like the 2-week period off, pardon the pun, the 2-week stage after you ovulate to like doing a pregnancy test is tedious and just the longest thing ever. I personally think this time is going quicker, I'm only on day 5 obviously, than the starting my period and waiting for the ovulation. I don't know, obviously I guess I was doing ovulation tests all the time, but I found that so slow. I was like, oh my god, time is ticking, time is going so slow. But this, I feel like I don't feel that anxious, I don't know why. And I guess I should say at the moment, I do feel like I've got, it's so hard because this is obviously the first one I've ovulated in maybe years. So maybe I'm not used to these things that my body's doing. But do you know what, I'm going to mention some of the like symptoms. I don't know, because I obviously don't know what I'm comparing it to, but I've definitely had signs from my body something's going on, whether it be my body's being like, yep hun, you've ovulated, we move on, or whether it's like, we've ovulated, something else has happened, maybe I'm pregnant, I don't know. But I'd say I've had really sensitive nipples, I've had cramping evenings. Do you know what, I had cramping quite a lot a couple of days ago from most of the day, just like a dull cramp in the bottom of my stomach. And then yesterday, mainly the evening, again same thing, and then like the odd like twinge of pain in my boobs. But again, I don't know, I've not had this, so it might just be that my body's being like, yes, you've ovulated, congrats, these are signs to say you've ovulated. So yeah, we will see, but I will check in when I get the results. Hi, I had a blood test on Thursday and they said to call on Monday for my results.
Yeah, let's have a look for you. Can I take date of birth, please? Lovely. Yeah, looks like
Hello?
back as normal and no further action needed.
Okay, is it possible for you to email me that, please? Because I need to basically send it over to my private fertility doctor. That's the reason I had the blood test.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely fine.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
No problem at all. Take
Thank
care.
you, bye. So, blood results are normal. I don't really know what that means because I guess the GP surgery don't really know how they should be telling me the result. I don't know, but they're gonna email me them and then I can email them to my doctor, my private doctor, and then I think she's either going to give me a call or basically put in an email what the situation is. I was looking for, yes, your progesterone levels mean you've ovulated or mean you haven't, because that's obviously the whole point of having the blood test. So we will see. I should have them today, but to be honest, I can't see that I'm going to get a response today. It's already 2:15, and her secretary normally replies like within 24 hours, so we will see. But I'm going away tomorrow, so hopefully that doesn't slow anything down. Update, 10 minutes later, I've received the email and I can see everything. Majority of this is like another language because it's obviously all like doctor terms. I would put it on the screen, but I don't know if there's anything I shouldn't. So I'll just read the bit which I zoomed in on, and it says my result, and then it says a number which I don't really understand. I think that's what she's gonna look at. It's like my progesterone rate, but then underneath it says considered proof of adequate ovulation. So I'm taking that as, well, I kind of knew that anyway because I've been obviously doing the clear blue ovulation test last week, but it worked, I think, which is good, which is the main thing, because obviously I can't ovulate on my own, so that shows that the letrozole worked. In terms of doing a test, a pregnancy test, I don't think I can take one until the end of the week, and I've actually, do you know what, I said in one of my last clips that the 2-week period of like ovulation was long. This I wasn't finding long, but I'm finding this quite long now. But I'd rather not start testing really early and doing that thing. I've been looking on TikTok and stuff, and people are like, I think I can see a line, but then they said there's this thing where you start seeing lines because there's a line next to it and your eyes are tripping you out. So I'd rather just wait until later in the week and have like a yes or a no, and not have to just keep like winding myself up. So that'll be the next time I check in, unless there's anything else to say from the doctor. But yeah, I don't know. Part of me thought maybe, but I don't know. Occasionally I feel like I'm like, oh my god, I think I've got a symptom, but I don't even know what I'm comparing it to. And then you Google things which you shouldn't do, and there's just all these potential symptoms that you could have. But everyone's so different. I know some people can go a whole pregnancy and not have one symptom and not even know they're pregnant. So we will see. Oh my god.